Wagwan PokeMoshPit. It is I, SourBawss. That is the same Sour from Sweet and Sour Pokemon Battles, if you have heard of me from beta. And I'm bringing my first upload to the Mosh Pit, so I hope you enjoy, since this was a very excellent match against my good friend MultiHGW. And look at the team preview quickly. I'm using a team which is based around a Cobalion sweep with Frostlass and Donphan to set up my entry hazards just to bring Pokemon into KO range. And he seems to be using a pretty standard team. But big threats I'm looking at is Dusclops, which I hope to Toxic with my Zapdos very quickly, as it is really damn bulky. Raikou will be an issue. I'm not sure what kind of set he's running. Could be Subcon Mind, could be Volt Switch or Choice Scarf. But I'm guessing more Choice Scarf, looking at the rest of his team, as most of them are Life Orbs. Houndoom could be an issue if Zapdos and Suicune are gone. And Donphan possibly, since he does have the Rapid Spin. But to start off with, I'm going to lead off with my Frostlass, since possible leads will be the Donphan or the Ambipom. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on with the show. As I've stated, I am going to lead off with my Frostlass, but he gets a great lead matchup and starts off with Houndoom, and I'm unfortunately going to have to risk him going for the Pursuit, since I cannot stay in at all, since I am not Focus Sash. That is a bulky Frostlass. Switching out to Zapdos, take the Flamethrower. He was probably predicting my switch into Cobalion so I could get a just 5 boost, but I'm not that greedy, as I'm just going to go for the Roost, predicting some sort of switch as he does go into Raikou. Now here I am predicting him to go for the Volt Switch, but he goes for the Substitute, which is absolutely dreadful. It tells me that he is Calm Mind plus 2 attacks would be the Bolt Beam combo, Thunderbolt and HP Ice. So now he's got 3 Substitute, and I'm going to have to switch into my Suicune and try and bait him to get greedy, go for another Calm Mind, or he can take me out. As I'm just going to go for the Roar, but he does take me out, which is awful. I've lost Suicune now, so that's one of my checks to Houndoom gone. But you know, it gets even better after that, since now I'm going to switch into my Choice Scarf Azelf, the only thing that can outpace this Raikou, and take his Substitute out with a Zen Headbutt, and now I lose Azelf as well to a +1 Thunderbolt, so I'm in a horrible position right now. What, 4-6, and Raikou's here at +1, ready to sweep my team. But because I do bring out my Donphan with the Sturdy intact, I know he's going to switch out into a Source Buck, predicting my Earthquake, as I'm just going to get the Stealth Rocks up just to get some sort of momentum, since I'm in a really bad spot right now. As predicting the Horn Leech, which is super effective, going to go to my bulky Frostlass, which does take that quite well actually. I do have quite a bit of defense EVs and HP. But unfortunately for him, he makes a bit of a misplay, not realising that Frostlass does outspeed Source Buck if invested in speed. As I'm going to go for an Ice Beam like I just said, and I do live the Horn Leech, which is excellent, so I'm going to go for another Ice Beam as he does switch out into his Houndoom. I'm going to decide to stay in and just get one layer of spikes up, since I want to wear the Dusclops down as quickly as possible. And I'm still fearing this Houndoom to be mixed with the Pursuit, as they usually are, as my Frostlass goes down. And I'm going to switch out into my Cobalion, bait the Dusclops in, so I double switch out into my Zapdos so I can get a Toxic off next turn, which will proceed to happen, since I really do need to have everything going my way from now on, just to make up for that dumb play I made. But he does go for a Pain Split, which is, I'm not sure why that's the case. Maybe it was predicting me to go for Thunderbolts, I'm guessing, but whatever, since it does minuscule damage to me anyway. So the series of plays I will explain in further detail later on in the upcoming turns, as I'm going to go for the Heat Wave. As he does go for the Will-O-Wisp, it does miss, which is unfortunate, but that's probability for you, what can I say. As he will switch into his Donphan right now, predicting the obvious T-Bolt, which is a good move on his part, but this will actually work out into my favour, as you'll see, since Multi has seen my entire Zapdos set, which being Toxic, T-Bolt, Roost and Heat Wave. So that means that he will possibly try and get a Flash Fire boost with the Houndoom that he has in the wings, as he's going to take this opportunity to number one, Rapid Spin, which will be a key play that he does in the next few turns, and then lay up his own rocks. So now that he has both of those out of the way, I know for an absolute fact that he will go into his Houndoom next turn to try and take the Flash Fire boost from the Heat Wave, and I'm just going to absolutely murk him with a T-Bolt, and that is 3-5. And it's about damn time too. So the obvious Fake-O is obvious from this Ambipom. I debated on whether I should go into Cobalion or Donphan. I chose Donphan for two reasons. Number one, Cobalion needs to be as good as health as possible, so I can hopefully make a comeback. Number two, because he spun away my entry hazards, he's predicting me to go for the Stealth Rock, as I am predicting him to have the Taunt set, so I can wreck him with an Earthquake and then proceed to finish him off with an Ice Shard. So that is 3-4. So, you know, there actually might be hope for me after all. But let's not try and get complacent now, since anything can happen, as he's going to switch out into his Dusclops. The obvious Will-O-Wisp is obvious. The only thing I do have, as I've said, I've only got my 3 guys left. Cobalion, Donphan, both physical attackers. And then there's my Zapdos, which I'm going to have to take some entry hazard damage thanks to Stealth Rocks. And long after turn effects are long, so he is going to predict my Thunderbolt quite nicely. It was pretty obvious, but I didn't feel like going for the Heat Wave, as I am in a more comfortable position than I was. I'm still not doing great. Dusclops is still alive, but right now we're going to get into a bit of mind games right now. It's called Am I Going to Roost, since I'm fearing him to go for the EQ, predicting my roost so he can just completely wreck me, and he's fearing that I'll just roost in general, so that's how it's going to go. Unfortunately, he's going to get the better end of the stick, as I do not roost for that in fear of the EQ, and it's going to be a double down. So because I only have physical attackers left, I know he's going to switch out into his Dusclops just to try and burn me, and I'm going to have to go into my Cobalion to try and hit this thing for neutral with Stone Edge, unfortunately. Since me and Stone Edge have not been the best of friends ever since I started this game in Gen 4, so I hit my first one, he missed the Will-O-Wisp. Probability, what can I say? As I hit my second one, he does hit the Will-O-Wisp this time, and now it all depends on if I'm going to hit this next one. Thanks to Toxic, he will be in range where even a burned Stone Edge will take him out, thankfully, and it's 2-2. Now, as this Cobalion gets wrecked by his Raikou, what I'm thinking is that as I bring in my Donphan, he might possibly substitute, so what I want to do is go for the Ice Shard, bring him down to as low as possible so he can't make a substitute. But hindsight's hindsight, because I should have really went for the EQ if I was throwing the substitute, as in his narration he did live with 81. His substitutes cost 80 HP, so he would have gone a substitute regardless. Thing as I did get a low damage roll on that Ice Shard. He goes for the HP Ice. The Donphan's HP bar is going down, and I live with 31 HP, which is absolutely fantastic. Because thanks to the Raikou's own Life Orb, Ice Shard will be enraged to KO, and all he has left is the SourBawss. Thanks to the damage with the Ice Beam from Frostlass, he will die to an Ice Shard, and that is good game MultiHGW. It seems that he got min or a low damage roll with the HP Ice, as Timid Life Orb HP Ice does 278 HP minimum to 326 HP maximum, and I was at 309 HP, so min-max variation did kind of screw him over. And that was the game, guys. Since it just goes to show that nothing is out of the question, anything can happen in a Pokemon game. So yeah, that was the game. Thank you very much for having me, MoshPit. Subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed the match. Check out my opponent, MultiHGW, very good friend of mine and a good battler. And if you like this narration, come check out my channel. All links will be down below. So like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the other side.